Good morning, everyone. Welcome back for another interesting subject video. Today, I want to talk about cinematic universes. Now, for most people, you should know that with Marvel, the MCU is quite big at the moment. They have what 20 released movies, and all of them, even though they are not all Avengers level quality, they are highly regarded movies. With I think the weakest one being The Incredible Hulk, which also has a rating of 6 point something. It's quite big movies, big blockbuster movies. They are not really there for storytelling. Your big blockbuster summer movies, they are usually there to get money. That's your big blockbusters. Sometimes the blockbuster is exceptional. Titanic from the 90s were still regarded as one of the best, and it's a big blockbuster that still sits on top, well, second for biggest movies of all time. But overall, the what's the word? The blockbusters are just there for entertainment. It's popcorn movies. Most of the time, you don't think too much about them. Otherwise, it can get weird if you try to overanalyze it. But that's what I'm going to do. So let's get weird. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's just so that when I upload something, it will show. YouTube will tell you I've uploaded something. So and leave a like if you like the video. So why do I want to talk about cinematic universes? Surprisingly, I don't really want to talk about the MCU at this stage, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's famous. Most people know it. If you don't know it, you can. There's lots of movies about it, lots of TV shows, all interconnected stories, each giving their own piece of advice. But I want to talk about why do some of them fail? What made the Marvel Cinematic Universe work and the others not? I know it might not be an interesting subject, but if you go into the understanding behind uh, Marvel, not Marvel movie industry, it becomes interesting because 2008 Marvel blew everyone away with Iron Man 1 and a small in credit scene, like right at the end of the movie. Common experience, like you're not the only superhero. And it launched what's known today as the MCU. 20 movies, 12 TV shows, issues. They even have their own in world news uh, news station. But then everyone in the movie industry, we have to do cinematic universes. This is a success. Look at Avengers 1 2012. It blew um, blockbuster stuff right through the window. It's like they records all over. People saw a chance to make money. And this is where the error comes in. So a few cinematic universes exist, and that is the Ghostbusters universe or the Ghost universe of the 2016's Ghostbuster reboot. It failed miserably, and yeah, it didn't continue. So it was supposed to launch a cinematic universe, but it failed. Same goes for the Dark Universe of Universal Pictures, which was supposed to be a reboot of the Monster Universe of the um, early, well, 40s, 50s. There, but all your Frankenstein, Dracula, Werewolf Man, Invisible Man, that they were supposed to reboot it, build it into a cinematic universe. Of all of them, I'm actually sad that one failed because I really like that old ones, and they should be told how they were Dracula, The Mummy. They were cool stories. But again, they failed. The new Mummy reboot with Tom Cruise, it bombed at the box office and the entire show was cancelled. They are though still on hold, so they might one day reboot the Dark Universe, but at this stage, not. Then you get the DCU. They they blob along at this stage. Their movies are financial successes. I mean, if you get Justice League to get made 600 and something $1 million, which for us normal people, that's a lot. But in terms of um, how it should have done, I mean, it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. It's the biggest names in superhero movies, and it was still outgrossed by the Marvel Cinematic movie Thor Ragnarok, Thor 3. So how is it that a unknown superhero could outgrow the most famous superheroes? So it's a box office dud, but they didn't actually lose too much money. Yeah, so they are blobbing along, not as highly regarded as the MCU, but it doesn't mean all cinematic universes fail. Marvel made it work, and a surprising one, which is still surprising me, is the Conjuring universe. It's a horror universe. Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, the spin offs of Annabelle, 1, Annabelle Creations, The Nun um, that came out right now, and most probably Conjuring 3. So all of these horror stories are also connected through Ed and Lorraine Warren, ghost hunters, I think in the 70s. They or demonologists. Is that the word? They were doing exorcism and all of that. So they worked. And if you go to TV, um, you have the uh, Arrowverse, which is also that's actually a DC property, but TV related, where you have the Arrow, the Flash, Supergirl, DC's Legends. They are also all connected, doing a one big crossover event every year. I mean, last year the Arrowverse Crisis on Earth X were better received. In terms of reviews than the Justice League. Like the cheap rip-off one on TV got better reviews than the one on movie. So yeah, it's hard to explain. But so some of them make it, some of them don't. And I think it comes to patience. When Marvel brought their first movie out, they didn't know if they were going to make an Iron Man 2 movie or what. They had enough money to make Iron Man 1, and they, with Universal, make a Hulk movie. And that's that. They didn't know they're going to make this entire massive cinematic universe. They put their money and time into that two movies. Well, one mostly the Iron Man movie, Universal mostly did the Hulk movie. Same with Arrow. It started, made a series, Arrow season one. It was a success. Season two, they like, maybe let's just put like one small detail in, see how the people reacted to it, and it was well received. And from that, they made a Flash. So it took almost 2 years before the Flash were realized. And then the Conjuring universe, Conjuring 1 came out with no prospects of building a universe. They put their time and money into that one movie. It was a success. Then they said, okay, we give it a sequel. And it was a success because they focused on that one thing. And they are successes. And so you get the people to come watch your movies because the people, oh, that was a good movie. I liked it. Not because it's part of a cinematic universe, it's a good movie. And then Take Conjuring for instance, you get the Annabelle doll, which is one of the most creepiest dolls, which actually is based, since it's based on true story, all of this in the 70s. That doll, you can actually go visit that doll at a museum, the original Annabelle doll, so creepy. Um, People love that doll horror story so much that it was warrant a sequel, or well, a spin-off movie. And it did good again because they focused on that one thing. They didn't think of the entire universe. They focused on that one thing and it worked. And then they started expanding their universe, going bit history into Annabelle, or going into the nun, the big baddie of the Conjuring, that one's history. So then they started experimenting. Marvel started experimenting at movie six, The Avengers. That that was the first experimental one, and it worked. Co- The Conjuring universe of the, I think, five movies, it worked because then they started 2 years for the Arrowverse on TV, and then it came and it worked. Another, so I think that's the thing. All of these others, the Dark Universe. In the first movie, you got the Mummy, then you got a hint at Jekyll and Hyde, and name drops of a few others like Dracula and Frankenstein. They weren't patient. They didn't get the people invested in that one movie, and when that movie failed, people didn't want to see a next Dark Universe movie. DC as well. They, even though they get money, their movies aren't too well received, with the exception of Wonder Woman. And I think that's an important thing we must learn. Sometimes to get success, you must sometimes just be a bit patient. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. The For me, I love the MCU, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Maybe it's not an interesting subject for you, but think about it. Maybe you didn't even hear. Nowadays, a thing like the Dark Universe or the Ghost. Oh, there's even a King Arthur universe that was supposed to be launched with the King Arthur movie. So yeah, and I know Transformers are trying to do spin-offs with Bumblebee coming out, and Star Wars did spin-offs with one of the spin-offs, Rogue One, doing good. The other spin-off on Solo doing not so good. But yeah, so there have been successes, less and less successes, but yeah, I hope you found it educational, at least this interesting subject. Thank you.